Happy holidays and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert, joined as always by my co-host, Joel, the Merry One Meyer. How are we doing tonight, Joel? How was your little break there?
It was excellent. Just the start of my break. Got the next 2 weeks off. So, looking forward to that. In good spirits here. And yes, it was good seeing all the family, all the little rugrats, nephews, uncles, aunts, opas, omas, the whole gang. It's a tradition at my dad's side for my oma. She has us all the kids, all the grandkids to, I don't know, sit down on a chair, do a skit, sing a song, or just share stuff about them. Most people just sit there and take questions. I didn't want any of that shit. So you know what I did? I was first one up. I'm the eldest grandson. I just went right up, and you know what I did? I sang "God Rest You, Gentlemen."
Yes. That was going to be my guess. You were warming up last week.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not taking questions. I'm just going to sing this song," and it worked out. Everyone loved it because I'm usually the quiet one, but no, I burned up there, and I was the only one to sing a song, so that was definitely a first. But yeah, great time, great past few days, seeing everybody, going to different places all around Vancouver. So yeah, it's good to be back home though, back to business. And how was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to have a few days off from hockey. Even thinking about hockey, even with World Juniors, like I didn't do anything with that. So from like Saturday night when the games ended, even Saturday, like the Flyers weren't playing, so I wasn't into it too heavily. But having 3 days off to just rest, relax, see the loved ones, see all that good stuff. It's always a good time around the holidays. So yeah, it was great. A few days break there. I'm off today and tomorrow as well, and so it's going to be a good little break for me as well. So yeah, but I am excited to get back into it. We have a 14 game here slate tonight on Wednesday. Not going to get into that much. We'll get into the World Juniors, get into the Thursday slate, 4 games, and some futures talk here. Before that, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, where you listen to your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Make sure you're also subscribed on YouTube. YouTube, just search for the Hockey Gambling Podcast. And make sure you, if you sign up with the promo code, or sign up for Underdog Fantasy with promo code SGPN, and send us a screenshot of that. You get 100% deposit bonus, of course, as we always talk about. And also, if you send a screenshot of you subscribe to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on either Spotify or Apple, as well as YouTube, you'll get a free Hockey Gambling Podcast merch, maybe a shirt, maybe a hat. We'll figure that out with the bosses, but making a good year-end push here for Underdogs. Make sure if you're not signed up and you're in a state where it's legal, make sure you sign up. So we'll hit that at the bottom of the show as well. Make sure you get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. For nights like tonight, when we're not doing a podcast for the big slate, Joel put his picks in there. I put my plays in there, so that's a good time in there. People throwing out World Juniors. Talon is not with us, probably because he's passed out now after drinking for 12 hours, watching teenagers play hockey. He's been throwing in some live bets. I think he hit Germany live today against. I'm sure you're pumped up about that, Joel. But yeah, make sure you get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord, and follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Talon's also been doing a great job there, tweeting out some stuff. So make sure you follow us on all of our socials. And yeah, that's a good lead-in, Joel. What are your thoughts on the World Juniors so far, with Germany getting a huge win today?
First of all, we got to talk about the Cleveland Browns. Yes, some nice features there. There was a huge win against the Houston Texans. Joe Flacco is down to plus 275.
Joe Flacco's elite. He's back.
I know. Comeback player of the year, one might say. He went from 75 to 1. I know a friend who got him 150 to 1, which is insane.
You have a 75 to 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's looking tasty now. And yeah, he's 40 attempts every game, no problem. They don't run the ball at all anymore. And why would you when this guy is absolutely killing it, throwing the ball down the field? Yeah, and I got tons of Browns futures out my ass. Just Kevin Stefanski, coach of the year, 230 to 1. That's looking nice. Hopefully he or Shane Steichen win it. That would be excellent. Yeah, just Cleveland Browns have a hell of a game there. Not so good for our Brock Purdy MVP tickets on Christmas night, though. 4 interceptions, terrible game. I mean, you could blame for 2 of them, but still, he's not going to win that now. Very unlikely anyway. Yeah, hopefully that was a preview of the Super Bowl, though. Ravens-Niners would be an excellent result. Or even better, Browns-Niners. That would be absolutely lovely.
Catfish said in the chat there, yeah.
Yeah, let's go, Dilly. Yeah, so I don't like all the games on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whatever. I think that's bullshit, but whatever. I'll take the dubs at least. And yeah, it's been a fun NFL season wrapping up last 2 weeks, and yeah, hopefully things keep rolling for the an NFC North or AFC North rather.
Yeah, I understand Christmas Eve fell on a Sunday, and like I think last year Christmas was a Sunday. But if Christmas is a Monday, just do the one Monday night game. You don't need like multiple games on Christmas. But I guess it's competing with NBA, and that's what you're going to see. Yeah, I checked Twitter. I saw the Niners loss. I saw Purdy threw 4 interceptions. I was like, all right, well, should have hedged my MVP bet, but oh well. Yeah, you live and you learn sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, you were mentioning the World Juniors, and yes, Team Germany. I was beginning to doubt them after Norway put in a strong performance against the Americans. I was like, oh shit, Germany's going to get relegated because their team's not supposed to be very good. Norway's supposed to be the team that they have to beat in the relegation round most likely if Germany finish bottom of the group. But with a win against the Finns, it's unlikely that they're going to finish bottom of the group, so they won't even have to play Norway as long as they can beat the Latvians or the Swiss, I think, or just the Latvians, I think, are in that group. So if they can win that game, avoid relegation, hell of a performance there. We can question the Finns as well. Their defense is not what we're used to seeing. They're usually more of a structured, disciplined team, good goaltending, but that's not how they played through 2 games. Canada ran over them. Germany came back from behind to win. That was a spirited comeback there. I did not see any of that game, but just looking at the stats there, it was looking like it was pretty even. So they didn't look to be outplayed. And Talon was saying too, they're buzzing. So I'll trust in his eye test analytics there. Yeah, other than that, USA slow start against the Norwegians, but it's not how you start in this tournament. It lasts a couple of weeks. It's how you finish. Get your legs under you. They probably were looking past the Norwegians. Tough start there, and after 30 minutes or so of like not finishing your chances against a team you should be rolling, it's frustrating. But thankfully, Gavin Brindley, he's got a hell of a shot. Jimmy Snyder got one too, and yeah, then the doors just open up for the Americans. They let in a shorthanded goal, whatever, it happens. So I'm not too concerned about the Americans just yet. Canadians though, they're impressing pretty early. Dominant win. I thought it was 9-0 last time I checked against the Latvians, but still they're doing to them what the Americans couldn't do to the Norwegians. So that's encouraging. And of course, they beat the aforementioned Finns 5-2, which doesn't, or 6-2, something like that. It doesn't look as good now with the Germans beating the Finns, but still, that's another good win for the Canadians. So yeah, the Canadians are always going to be in it, even though it's supposed to be a down year. We'll see how they progress going forward. Good to see the goaltending has been good so far. That was a question mark going in. Yeah, it's looking like a well-rounded effort there. I guess, have you seen anything yet?
I haven't watched any. I mean, I've been following the box scores. Yeah, the box scores up. I mean, Canada has been very impressive. I think Celebrini had 10 or 5 points in the 10-0 win. I know USA had a tough game against Norway. I don't think Cutter Gauthier had any points there, so that was
not a
good start.
Yes, sick assist on Brindley's goal, I think it was, or Snuggerud.
All right,
I don't know.
1 point there, but I mean, yeah, but the one bet I actually called out on the preview show when I was half asleep was the Slovakia over Switzerland finishing position, and they beat them 3-0. I got them at -155, and now that's looking great. So that's one thing.
2-0.
It's one thing I'm looking at that seems like pretty much a lock unless they lose. But yeah, I'm excited to see what USA can do. In the coming games. I know in the early games you see these big favorites maybe not win by as much. USA was I think -5.5. They only won 4-1 against Norway. So you see these teams get off to a slow start, but they'll get into it. And yeah, like you said with Canada, like it's supposed to be a down year for them, but a down year for them is still medal expectations. It's just, okay, it's not like, okay, we have to win gold. It's like, okay, well, maybe we'll get bronze. That's fine. But I mean, they're looking great. We'll see what happens when they play Sweden and probably US in the knockout round. But yeah, they got Sweden on the 29th. So that's Friday at 1:30 Eastern. That'll be a good game. That'll be a good afternoon game after Czech versus USA. So yeah, it's going to be a good games coming up. This is when you can, these teams have a few games under their belt, so you know what they're made of, so you can kind of make some more educated handicapping and bets. But I mean, Talon's been killing it. I think Talon hit Germany live like 10-1 or something. They won that one 4-3. So yeah, I mean, it's been a everyone loves World Juniors. I know some people love it too much. Some people complain that some people love it too much. But yeah, it's always a good time of year here for some hockey.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong, especially when it's in Europe, especially for those of you on the East Coast who can wake up at 6:30 and you get to watch hockey all day long. It almost leads right into the NHL, with the noon games. So yeah, it's well, why can't you have hockey all day long? There's no reason to complain about it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But it's also good for if you like an NHL team, that's half the reason why people watch is to see how your prospects doing. I know you mentioned Cutter Gutya. He's on paper, at least, the best player at this tournament. Maybe Celebrini, we don't know exactly what his potential is, but still, and you're Flyers fan, so you want to see him do well. I mean, Avalanche don't have. I don't think we don't have any meaningful prospects in the tournament. We would have maybe a couple if the Russians were allowed in, but that's another story. But yeah, the Sabres and the Coyotes, man, they are absolutely loaded with talent. So if you're a Sabres or a Coyotes fan out there, you should be loving it. Like Yuri Kulich for the Czechs had a hat trick today, captain of the team. So you should be following him if you're a Sabres fan. That's another reason to watch. You don't have to, like junior hockey in general. You can just watch for a certain player to do well, especially if he's in a prominent position, first line power play and all that. Like if you're a Coyotes fan in particular, you got guys all over the place. Pretty much every game you're gonna have a prospect to follow.
Yeah. Did you see any line for Celebrini to be the leading point scorer in the tournament? I looked for it. I think I forget before it started. I could not find him.
He was too short. He was less than 10-1. Yeah, he's
that's what Gauthier was too.
Yeah, Gauthier was a favorite, like 4, 5, 6-1. And Portois, he jumped up there as soon as he was announced. I think he was 7-1. He had a goal, I think, and in the first one, I didn't see who scored in the 9-goal game. I'm sure he potted one there. And one more note: American goaltending. Though Trey Augustine was the best player for the Americans in the game against Norway, so that's encouraging as well for the Yanks. They're just stacked all over the ice.
Just more American goalkeepers here, goalies being wild. I mean, Canada. We've been talking about it all season long. All these Americans. Yeah, that's good to see. I remember back, I guess, 10 years ago now, or maybe 11, in the 2013 when I was in Russia. I remember staying up and watching that at like 3 a.m. when Gosses Bear was in it. So that's one of my earliest World Junior memories. And like I saw someone make a point that like everyone in Canada makes a bigger deal out of it, but also Canada is mostly Canadian junior players that are like so intertwined with their local communities. So it makes sense that they care about him so much.
For sure, yeah, it's just more of a tradition here than in other places or in America, really. I mean, the Europeans care a lot about it as well, as you could tell by the fans, especially like the Latvians always go crazy for it because like the smaller countries, like why not? You're good at hockey, you might as well follow it with your 100%.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on World Juniors before we move along here?
No, that's it. Let's go Germany. Let's go Canada, and for my wallet, let's go America.
You have any more confidence in Canada after their first two games?
Yeah, they look like the real deal again. So, but it's not how you start; it's how you finish, and we'll see when the rubber meets the road how things turn out.
Yep. All right, we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this season. Now I can play during basketball season 2. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. With the basketball season, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce had a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made plus receptions. And if you want to play alongside some of your Prize Picks favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz, you can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play, even if one of your players gets injured. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sport platform with an injury insurance policy. Make sure you sign up for Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All All right, here. Let's we got a big 4-game slate here for Thursday, December 28th. Are you ready to get into it?
Yes, sir.
All right, kick things off here with the lone 7 o'clock game here. We have the Montreal Canadiens at the Carolina Hurricanes. Game itself is in Carolina. Hurricanes are minus 258 on the money line. Hurricanes on the puck line are minus 110. Canadians on the money line are plus 210. Over under is set at 6.5, overpaying off minus 102, with the under at minus 118 here. I'll kick us off here. I think this is a back-to-back for the Hurricanes, and I believe Kachikov is starting in net tonight, likely. So it's going to be Ranta tomorrow.
He's
I
back.
think I saw Ranta.
Yeah, wasn't he in waivers?
Oh, he was on waivers, but yeah, he got recalled. No
Okay.
one claimed him. So yeah,
He's
he
back.
got recalled.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Nobody
back.
wanted him for good
Nobody
reason.
wanted him. Montreal, I saw. I think Caden Primo is starting tomorrow. Who doesn't really matter who they start. Caden Primo did have a good start against the Blackhawks. 2 goals against on 21 shots, so not too good. My only play here would be the over 6.5 minus 102. We've seen Carolina; they've been playing a bunch of uncharacteristic, high-scoring games, especially if Ranta is in net. And Montreal has been sneaky good this season. They're somehow like not completely out of the playoff picture. And Caden Primo hasn't been great, and they have what it takes to score some goals. So I like the over 6.5 at minus 102. You can still find a over 6 at minus 120. I did take that, but as for a side, I guess I'd lean to the Habs here. I think Habs at plus 210 with the Hurricanes on a back-to-back could be a good look.
Right before we're going into this game, I know this won't matter much to the podcast listeners, but for the benefit of the live listeners,
Yes.
one thing that I really hit home and betting this slate is the away teams. We talked about this with the Black Friday games. The away teams crushed it there because the home teams they're still at home. They're celebrating with the family. Their celebrations go longer, whereas the teams that have to go out of town to play their hockey, go on their business trip, are typically better prepared. And that's the case right now. Back from the Christmas holidays, I'm sure that the teams at home, their schedules, typically, their celebrations went later than the teams that had to play on the road. So and the market agrees with that, which is why most of the teams on the road took the money. So the value is fleshed out a little bit, or leached out a little bit, I should say. But yeah, you could still bet the away goals. You got another half hour to do that, plus 130, plus 135 or so. And yeah, you just look at these away teams. I mean, I didn't bet a whole lot of them, but the ones I did, I really, really like. I just wouldn't play many home teams here for that reason. And I think that still applies somewhat to these games on the 28th, which is why I like the Canadiens here. I mean, they got an extra day off too. Hurricanes playing tonight in Nashville. And now they got Antti Ranta in net. We don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he comes back trying to fight for his job again and then plays one of the best games of his season. But I don't think so. Let's go with the Canadiens here, plus 210. That line should drop significantly, I would say, depending on what happens tonight with the Predators, of course. But still, I think it's too high there. So I like the Canadiens here. Road team, got an extra day off, and they got to fly out there today instead of some of these away teams. They do have to play or they have to fly out to the opponent's building, because I think that they're not allowed to fly out too early or something, because the PA have to give them the same amount of time for the Christmas break, so they can't fly out to these cities too early. So that could be problematic for the away teams.
I think some team last year got called out for that, and they either got fined or lost a pick or
Leafs.
something. Was it the Leafs?
The Leafs, yeah, I remember
Probably.
that. They can afford it though. They'll pay the fine. Fuck it. We'll try and win this game here to make it worth the $15,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But another thing too is that last year, there's still the COVID restrictions and whatnot, and then the Sharks, they got really fucked by it because they had to fly out from San Jose. It was like an overnight thing. They got delayed, and they just barely arrived in Vancouver in time for the game, and then they got shelled. I was at this one along with Shark, friend of the podcast. And yeah, so hopefully that situation doesn't happen here, but it shouldn't, because if you look at these games, they're all they're all close proximity to each other. Like that's different from years past. Like all these games, they're within like a few hundred miles, or most of them anyway. You got the Boston, Buffalo, Florida, Tampa, Washington, New York. Well, that was a little further. Columbus, New Jersey, Ottawa, Toronto, Sharks, Kings. Like these games are all pretty close to each other. So that's another factor that favors the away teams here. But yeah, for this one, give me the Canadians plus 210. I could see an argument for either way on the total. I'm not betting the total, but yeah, give me the away team.
All right, going down to 10 p.m. here. Oh, what a matchup here. We got the Philadelphia Flyers at the Vancouver Canucks. Game itself is in Vancouver. Canucks are minus 162. Flyers are plus 136. Over under is at 6. Overpaying off minus 125 with the under at plus 105. Mr. Meyer, am I crazy or is this line kind of low for the Canucks?
Yeah, well, the Flyers got bet a little bit. I did not bet either way this one. But yeah, it's two teams that, of course, we are high on, both in terms of our heart and our money. And yeah, did you know that the Canucks are in first place in the league in terms of points? I sure did. Not point percentage, but points. So we will take it. Certainly did not see that coming at the start of the year, but we'll absolutely take it. So yes, love both these teams going forward. For this one, though, I don't think that I'll be betting a side. Once again, I think that I would favor the away team. But still, the Canucks have been on a roll. Maybe they're feeling high on top of the mountain now, very fat and happy. So if anything, I would look to the Flyers here. And yeah, so both had a very tremendous season so far, overachieving expectations to say the least. And yeah, but the Flyers, I think, are a pretty even team with the Canucks, especially if you look at the underlying numbers. They have better numbers than the Canucks in that respect, at least. And yeah, so the Flyers would be a lean, kind of like the under 6, but Demko has been kind of shaky of late, and the Flyers goaltending has been up and down, I would say. And yeah, they're very good off the rush. So both teams kind of play the same kind of style in terms of like capitalizing on turnover. So I could see goals that way. But once again, I don't have a feel for the total. Leaning again to the away team.
Yeah, I mean, I do lean to the Flyers here, plus 136, but I don't know if they'll be able to bet them there. It's, yeah, like you said, we're both high on these teams. The Canucks have been great this season overall, great at home, 13-3-1. The Flyers have been great on the road, 10-4-3. So, I mean, if I had to pick a side, it would be the Flyers at plus 136, but I'll probably stay away from that in this game. I would take the under 6, plus 105. I think that's a good look there, get in plus odds, especially if it's, I think, either Hart or Urson. I like both of them right now. Flyers are mostly healthy. Canucks are mostly healthy. As long as it's Demko, I'm going to go with the under 6 at plus 105. It is the first half of a back-to-back for the Flyers. I believe they're in Seattle the next night. So, not too long of a trip, but still could be an issue for them. But I do think Tortorella will have his guys ready to go. I might look at the draw in this game, trying to look up what that is right now, probably around plus 350. Flyers have gone to overtime a lot this season, plus 370, even better. And Canucks have only gone to overtime 4 times, but twice were in their past 5 games. Cross-conference game, both teams at least want to get a point, so could see a closer game there. That's my handicap for this one. All right, going down to 10 p.m. again, we have the Los Angeles Kings at the Vegas Golden Knights. Game itself is in Vegas. Knights are minus 125. Kings are plus 105. Over under is at 6. Overpaying off minus 125, and the under at plus 105. Gonna be back-to-back here for both teams. The Golden Knights are in Anaheim tonight, while the Kings host the Sharks. They're both going to have a little bit of travel going back to Vegas here from California. This is the second meeting this season. The first meeting, both teams were also on a back-to-back, and it was in LA. And the big thing here is Big Save Dave is starting in net for the Kings tonight against the Sharks. They will have Cam Talbot, and it's Golden Knights are starting Thompson tonight, so it'll be Patera tomorrow probably. So I like the Kings here, plus 105 underdogs. Kings have been great on the road this season, 13-1-1. Vegas has been leakier recently without that Aiden Hill. They've been without Shade Theodore a lot for a long time now, but that's definitely having an impact on them this month. Gavrikov is going to be back for the Kings, so I like the Kings here as rare dogs plus 105 to get the job done, and probably no play on the total. These are more under teams, but they're playing over recently, so just the Kings plus 105 for me.
Yeah, I like the Kings as well. I did not know that about Gavrikov. That is good to hear. And what I like about the Kings is also the fact that they're on the back-to-back means that it takes away some of the temptations that Vegas provides. So some of that Vegas home ice advantage is taken away. And yeah, they're going down to Anaheim, then they got to come back up. I'd rather go straight from LA back to Vegas. So yeah, I like the Kings here as well. As dogs, think they're the better, more complete team, especially with the Gold Knights goaltending problems right now. Speaking of, that's why we've been successful betting Knights overs lately. So I like the over 6 as well. But the Kings, they play that more structured defensive game. Talbot in net kind of scares me off a little bit, but still, I think that the over 6 is the play. The way that the Knights have been playing lately, it's not good defending, and their goal scoring has been top notch because they got to stay in these games. Plus, if they get behind by a couple of goals, and the Kings do tend to be front runners, bullies, and they go out in the lead, and then they try to protect the lead, but the Knights are capable of breaking that door down and coming back in games. So I think the over 6 would be a look as well, and in addition to the King side here plus 105.
Yeah, looking at the Kings team total here, over 3.5 is plus 155. I think that's a good look. Vegas has been just bleeding goals recently, 4, 5, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4 in their last 7 or 8 games there. The Kings are typically lower scoring, as we say, but they put up 5 against Calgary, 4 against San Jose. So I think that could be a good look, or just over 3 plus 105 at Canby Books. That's probably a good look there for the Kings.
That is a good bet.
All right, going down to the final game on the docket at 10:30. We have the Edmonton Oilers at the San Jose Sharks. Game itself is in San Jose. Sharks are plus 250. Oilers are minus 325. Oilers on the puck line are minus 130. Over under is at 7, overpaying off plus 105 with the under at minus 125. How are you betting this one, Joel?
Well, even though it's been bet up to 3 minus 325, it's not a huge move. And the Sharks, I think that'll move a lot more actually with the Sharks on the back-to-back playing against the Kings, another Pacific Division rival, California rival. I think that game will take a lot out of them, and then they come back home to play Edmonton, who will be waiting there for them. And yeah, we remember the last time the Oilers played in San Jose. It did not go well for us, but I think the Oilers are a much better team now. McDavid is healthier. Things are going better. Their goaltending is better. Sharks too are playing a little better. They're scoring a few goals here and there, but still, they're not a good team. Not a good team at all. So yeah, the Oilers money line or the minus 1.5 here, minus 130 would be the way to look. Team total, you do the over 4.5 plus money. I think that the Oilers blow them up. I've said that before and been totally wrong, but I'm willing to go back to the well here and double down on that. Not martingaling. I'm certainly not putting as much down as it did in the first time. But I'll definitely have a piece of the Oilers here. Total seems about right. I mean, a 7 in a Sharks game is kind of wild because you can't trust them to score, but it is the Oilers, and you never know when a shootout can break out. So the total is kind of a wild card for me. But yeah, the Oilers side for me, especially with the Sharks playing in LA tonight, it's not beneficial to them. Big advantage for the Oilers here too, coming off the break. I think that they come out firing here and destroy the Sharks.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And this line has moved a little bit. It's still minus 295 at Canby Books. I mean, I would take that either as a parlay piece or just take that alone. I think that's possibly worth a bridge jumper bet. Puck line minus 130 could be good as well. But yeah, as you alluded to, probably the team total be the best bet. I got over 4 at minus 136. You can get over 4.5 at even money. You can get the race to 4 at minus 140. That's kind of don't love that, but yeah, I think the Oilers here have to be the play, whether it's puck line, whether it's team total or the total over 7. I think plus 105 might be a decent look. The Sharks are capable of scoring. They've showed that a lot recently. And the Oilers goaltending has not been great. So gonna take the Oilers here, whichever way you prefer. Money line as a parlay piece, regulation, puck line, team total race. Should hopefully be get some revenge here for their loss in San Jose a few months ago.
It's Blackwood and net for this one, right? Because Kakinen is going tonight.
I believe I saw Kakinen starting. I don't know if that matters though for San Jose. I don't know if goaltending matters.
Blackwood's been pretty good, especially against the Oilers and then your Flyers when he had that decent few game stretch there. So I would rather have Blackwood in net than Kakinen, but still that doesn't change.
Yeah, but his last 3 starts, 6 goals against, 5 goals against, 5 goals against. I mean,
all right.
Avs, Canucks, and Coyotes, but yeah, no, I know Blackwood has more potential to put up like a stand on his head game.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't change much. Let's go Oilers.
All right, that's the 4-game slate for Thursday, December 28th. Consensus plays here. We have the Canadiens plus 210 at Carolina. We're expecting the line to come down. The Kings plus 105, the road underdogs there in Vegas. And then Edmonton, team total, puck line, whichever way you want to play it here. We doing a best bet for a 4-game slate? You have anything you feel confident about?
Let's go Montreal Canadiens over 2.5 goals plus 110.
Okay. I was looking at the over in that game, but I'll switch it up here. I'll go with the Kings at plus 105. I think that's a good look there. I was surprised that they were underdogs because I looked at the game, then I looked at the line, and I was like, that underdogs, got to take that. I think that'll move a decent bit before puck drop. I mean, depending what happens tonight, but yeah, I think the Kings are the better, deeper team there.
Did we already deal with our last show's bets? Or
our last show we did not do any because I think it was a 3-game slate. Okay, you're like, if you feel strongly. But to update everybody, Joel is 10-8 at plus 0.37 units. I am 11-7 at plus 4.22 units. So both of us positive. Both of us keeping us in the positive here. In the chat, Adam Mack is saying, "Oh, you showed it." Per Shengpeng of San Jose Hockey Now, Blackwood is dealing with an illness ahead of Wednesday's road matchup with the Kings, so it may not be Blackwood tomorrow. I'm not sure who their third string goalie is, or if they would go Kakinen back to back off the break. But that just makes me like Edmonton even more tomorrow. So thank you for that info there, Adam.
I am. I thankfully dodged him in our Discord fantasy football league. He had a hell of a season. He went like 20-2 or something, and I'm scared of going against him. But he lost in the semifinals. I beat another friend of the podcast, Bandwagoner, in the semis, despite not. I didn't think I had a chance. Like there was multiple weeks where I didn't even set my lineup correctly. So, yeah, he says he didn't start Connor. I guess James Conner. I don't fucking know. I'm not a fantasy player, so I'm bewildered by the fact that I'm in the final. But I'll take it, man. It's been a fun couple weeks since I realized I have a shot to win the thing. And yeah, well, let's go. I don't even know who I'm playing, but he's going down, whoever he is.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up who the Barracudas goalies are. They got Magnus Krona, Georgi Romanov, and Itu Makaniemi. So 3 guys I had not heard of. Maybe one of those could be a prospect. They sound prospect-ish, but they don't have any veterans there to hold down the fort.
It's Berg. He's been on the show before, right? Adam Rosenberg.
Yeah. Is he in the final?
Yeah, he's the one I'm going against. So
fellow Flyers fan. He texted me last week. He was at I think a book signing or something with Jeremy Roenick. He got a picture with him. So shout out to the fellow Flyers fan there. All right, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets. All right, I went through World Juniors, went through the 4-game slate for Thursday here. Going to get into some futures talk, not necessarily as deep as we typically do with our player awards. I want to start out with some Stanley Cup talk here. Coming out of the holiday break, we get kind of a good benchmark of where teams are at. There's a few long shots I like here. I think the Kings at 13-1 are still way too long. I called that out a few weeks ago, probably closer to 20-1. I think the Panthers at 18-1 are a pretty good look as well. And then both the Canucks and Jets are 28-1. I think the Jets are a sneaky good team right now. They haven't allowed more than 3 goals in a game, and I think over a month. I am thinking more and more now that Hellebuck is going to win the Vezina just because he starts so many games and no one is necessarily running away with it. And then looking at longer shots here, Islanders 55-1. I think that should be shorter. I know I've said they're frauds. I know that I've said they're going to lose eventually, but Horvat's looking great. Barzal's looking great. Sorokin's looking great. They've been playing without 2 of their top 4 defensemen, so when they're healthy, they're going to look even better. So I think that could be something to throw a few bucks on, and then as long as they make the playoffs, it should be a good bet you can either cash out or hedge.
Yeah, I'll just go team by team here. Say a few words. First of all, Rangers and the once again, these odds are all over the place, book by book. But looking at the book I'm looking at here, Rangers and Avalanche are favored plus 750. Bruins plus 750 as well. I don't think that these are the rightful favorites. I mean, kind of, but not that the short of prices. You're just paying too much to back them. Rangers, I mean, they're getting back to their old ways, relying too much on their special teams, and their goaltending has been shit. Other than Jonathan Quick, and I don't expect him to maintain this level of play throughout the playoffs. I expect him to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. He's not going to, put up these ridiculous stats throughout the whole season and postseason. So the Rangers way too short, even at 11-1 here at the FanDuel. Avalanche, with just the pedigree, all the elite players on the team. Although there is some buzz that the Joe Sakic and C-Mac are planning a big deal. The biggest and likeliest candidate would be for Elias Lindholm. He would fit in a glove with the way the Avs play, especially just fulfilling that second line center that we really needed to fill since Kadri left. So that would be massive. But right now the odds are just too short for the Avs, especially with their goaltending problems. Knights, of course, coming off the cup, they can do it, but I don't really believe in them doing it again. We don't even know if Aiden Hill is healthy, and if they don't win the division, they'll have to play a very tough. It's really like winning the division this year is so important for both Central and the Pacific in the West, because the second and third slots, you're going to go in a war, whether it's the Kings and the Oilers, or rather the Kings and the Canucks, Knights, Canucks. It's going to be tough. Whereas you get to face, wildcard team. You want to dodge the Oilers, of course, but you'll also play, like the Wild, the Predators, or whatever. So winning the division, winning the top seed in the West is going to be crucial. Same thing in the Central. You don't want to play the Jets. You don't want to play the Stars. You don't play the Avs. You want to play the 7 or 8 seed. I mean, you kind of want to dodge the Oilers again, but still, that 8 seed is going to be rough, most likely. So that's crucial there. Let's go down the list here. Leafs, not a chance. Hurricanes, can't believe in them. Do the same thing.
I was looking at the Hurricanes. Do you think this is a decent buy low spot, 14-1, 13-1, or do you think it's just this is them falling apart?
It's pretty much the same price they were to start the season, and they're worse than expected. Like their point total is way down from when it started. So no, those odds should definitely go down. I mean, maybe this is part of the plan. Like in previous seasons, the Hurricanes go all out. They expend all this energy in the regular season. They have nothing left for the postseason. Maybe this is part of the plan. Maybe just get in, and then we'll go all out in the postseason. But I don't believe that. I think that there are problems with this team, and the fact that they can't protect their goaltending like they used to is a major red flag. So the Hurricanes are not bettable for me. And Kings, they have some issues as well, but I think that they're the best bet so far of all the teams I mentioned, even down to 13-1. Devils, Oilers, can throw them in the same kind of bucket. they have some problems with their own elite talents. Devils might not even make the playoffs. They're on the outside looking in right now. Goaltending, another question mark. Oilers, same thing. They just they're not really built like real playoff teams. They don't have a ton of experience. I know the Oilers have some now, but behind McDavid and Draisaitl is not a lot of depth, which is what you need. And they're too reliant on the power play. Same thing with the Devils. And a very young back end for the Devils. And Jonas Siegenthaler is having a regressive year this series. He's not the defensive defenseman he was the past couple. So that's a problem for the Devils as well. We don't even know if Dougie Hamilton's coming back. I mean, if he's not coming back, the Devils have no shot. Torn pec is a major deal. Panthers, we've been on them. Odds come down a little bit. That's fine. 18-1 is pretty good still. Jets. You mentioned the Jets. I think that's my favorite bet on the board right now. 28-1. This team is real. I think that they have a good shot to win the division. Plus 400, plus 450, something like that. With the problems with the Avalanche and the Stars, too inconsistent up there. Whereas the Jets, they just keep trucking along. Hellebuck's been great. Morrissey keeps playing solid hockey, and they're doing this without Kyle Connor, and he's going to come back in a month or so. There's so many good players in the Jets. Like Velarde has stepped up for Kyle Connor. He's on an absolute tear right now. Hopefully the Christmas break doesn't cool him off. In the chat too, Mac again saying that the only Kings forward with a plus or the minus and a plus minus is Pierre-Luc Dubois. Meanwhile, Gabriel Velarde is absolutely destroying it with the Jets. So just that one.
Iafallo is playing well too. Like and Ehlers has stepped up in Connor's absence. So the Jets have it going. Have it going on.
Yeah, for sure. Which is great stuff.
You skip over the Panthers, 18-1.
I mentioned them. I didn't go in depth, but yeah, the Panthers, absolutely tough division. They'll have to play a tough opponent in the first round, no doubt. But that goes for every team in the East, most likely. All the experience of last year. Plus, Matthew Tkachuk still got going. Maybe he's still dealing with the injuries that he suffered in the postseason, but I think that he'll turn around at some point, and then this team will get even better. And I think that their point total right now is 99.5. I think that's still bettable. I think that this team will dominate in the second half of the season. And beyond the Jets, though, I don't think that there's any. You mentioned the Islanders. I think that's the only case that can be made for any of these long shots. 55-1, I think is okay. I mean, they're kind of fraudulent as far as regular season goes. I mean, they should not be in a playoff spot when they have so many losses, but because so many of those losses happen in overtime, they get all these stupid loser points. So they're still in the mix there. But they're a pesky, fucking annoying team in the playoffs. So I could see them going on a run. If Sorokin gets hot and Pelech and Pulla come back healthy, and Noah Dobson keeps up this run of play, Bo Horvat comes back with some clinical clutch goals. Islanders are definitely a threat. So 55-1 there would be the only long shot I could look past the Jets at 28-1.
Yeah. Dilly in the chat, Captain Dilly said, I think he said what? Wild. No, Adam Mack said it. Minnesota's 75-1. I guess that could be a decent look there. I think they're minus 110 to make the playoffs now. I don't think it has a chance. I didn't realize the Yotes are in a playoff spot. Like, they're not going to win the cup, but they shouldn't be 150-1 to win the cup, I don't think, because if you like them to make the playoffs, which, I'm talking myself into that. I think they're still plus 350 to make the playoffs. I'm not sure who behind them is going to catch them. I guess maybe Minnesota. Oh, I guess Edmonton's going to catch them too. Edmonton's making the playoffs. So, the Coyotes at 150-1. If you're looking for a value cash out hedge bet, that could be a good spot.
Yeah, maybe, but I think you're just throwing money away. I mean, if you like the team, whatever, just go for it. It's nobody thought the Panthers would make the final last year, and they were crazy odds as well. Not quite 150-1, and they had a definitely better team than the Coyotes do. It's just I can't see it. That's not for me. I'd rather just bet them to make the playoffs at that nice plus number there, or Andre Tourigny at Coach of the Year. Although that's probably too short now as well. But yeah, it's just it's asking a fucking lot for them to because you'd really have to get them to make the Western Conference Finals to get a real good hedge in, because they're going to be massive dogs in every series, no doubt. Especially because they get 7 or 8 seed, they're going to go against the Avalanche, the Knights, the Kings. They'll be massive dogs in that situation. So yeah, it's a tough ask, but if you just want some fun, it doesn't take a lot of money there. Just throw $10 on that and then just let her rip.
Yeah, I think that's all the ones worthy of talking about here. I think for the cup, but yeah, I think the Yotes. I think they're still plus 350 to make the playoffs. They have. I mean, they're I think a team that's better than the whole is better than the sum of its parts. But they have some good young players. They have Keller. They have Logan Cooley. I think is playing on fourth line there for them. They have Lawson Krause is coming up. So yeah, if Ingram can be a Vezina Trophy candidate, I mean, goaltender can keep that up. I think that they have a chance. Any player award updates you want to go over, or you want to just get wrap this up a little bit?
Yeah, game's starting in a few minutes. The heart is a mixed bag now. We already got all the value out of McKinnon. He's down to 4-1 here, 5-1.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty accurate to me. I mean, Quinn Hughes 25-1. He's been fairly quiet in the month of December, but still, I think that he's got a better case than Pedersen at 20-1 for the Canucks anyway. But still, I don't think that there's too much to look at here. Jack Eichel, yeah, he's down too much at 40-1 though. He's been lights out lately.
Yeah, I might talk myself into Panarin now. He's 15-1. I think he was 12-1 last week when we talked about him. 44 points. The Rangers are the favorites for the President's Trophy. Maybe Laviolette will get that credit, but I could see Panarin, keeping this up, and 15-1. I think is going to be going down relatively soon.
Yeah, I could see the case for that. Yeah, Adam in the chat, 18-1. He's on the Dobson train as well as you. But
I think he's still 30-1 at some books. I gotta check that.
I don't think that's happening, but good luck. I mean, I mentioned before, Pulock probably come back. His minutes will go down. Maybe not down to the extent that they were to start the year, but I don't think that he'll be as much of a presence. And I just don't see the Islanders just keeping up this pace. I think they're one of the teams that'll fall out of the playoffs if the Devils get hot, Penguins get hot. So yeah, the Islanders are in a tough shape. I just, it's Quinn Hughes' war to lose. Kyle McCarr, I think he's the only one who has a chance to beat him. Things can change. It's a long season. People get hurt, but right now, I just don't want to back anyone else to go against them. I mean, I'm not betting anymore. Hughes and McCarr, the numbers are pretty accurate as they are. You're just banking on too much crazy things to happen at this point.
Yeah, Dobson still 30-1 at FanDuel for the Norris. I mean, Hedman, McAvoy, Morrissey, Heiskanen, Fox were all ahead of him. So, I mean, he should be shorter. Like Bouchard is finally down to 15-1. I don't think he's going to win it. I think it will be either Hughes or McCarr. But, if McCarr has that nagging injury, if Hughes gets hurt, it could open it up a little bit. You take in the field.
Hughes is the opposite of McCarr, though. He doesn't get hurt. He's like Duncan Keith, right? Duncan Keith never got hit. He was so shifty when he was moving around. Like, he was impossible to hit him. Quinn Hughes is the same dynamic. And that's why I'm more confident in Quinn Hughes staying healthy, because he just never gets hit. He just skates around there like a little bug that he can't hit. Like, you're just swatting at the air trying to hit this fly, but it's just you'll never hit it without a proper fly zapper.
Yeah, in the Calder, we're finally getting Bedard's up to minus 450. You can get the field at plus 320. That's obviously a decent amount of juice there. But I mean, if you got Bedard minus 150, minus 200 early in the season, you could arb it out now to guarantee some money. But it seems to be his to lose here. What about the Michigan goal he scored on Binnington? I think that's going to definitely be on his Calder Trophy highlight reel.
I don't want to talk about the Calder. It's done. It's done. Unless he gets hurt for the rest of the season, it's over. Yeah, it's done. Yeah. I mean, Brock Faber it's like all the nerds are talking about. Well, Brock Faber, 30 minutes a game. Look at all these, the net rating, all these underlying numbers that he has, but it doesn't matter. The voters aren't going to vote for him over Bedard. Not a fucking chance. So it's unless he gets hurt, it's done. And I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. And then speaking of getting hurt, Leo Carlson avoided the season-end injury, but I think he could be out up to 6 weeks. So that all but ends his.
So much for that load management shit. Gets hurt anyway.
Well, they'll be managing a lot of his load now, and it's off the ice. All right, it's past 7 o'clock. I think we're getting some puck drops on some games here. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gentleman Podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. If that's on Apple, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Also on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going live there for all of our shows. We should be back on Thursday night and Friday night with the whole gang. So make sure you're subscribed. hit that notification bell so you know when we are going live. We'll schedule those out a few hours in advance to keep you notified. Also, to keep you notified in the Discord, we notify everyone there. sg.pn/Discord. To get in the Discord, always a good time. Throwing out some live bets, but there's been some good live bet action recently. So if you miss out on betting the game pregame, sometimes this is the time of the year where kind of what teams can come back and what teams can blow leads. So this is the time to start getting into that live betting. And follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Okay, I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
I'm Joel Meyer, and you can find me hoping that all these away teams had a nice, comfortable, and efficient plane ride to their respective opponents' cities. And let's go away teams tonight.
See ya.